Now, the new film, Joker, just Joker, tells the origin story of the infamous Batman villain. It's been getting rave reviews from critics, but also garnering some controversy. Let's have a look.
In a world where everyone thinks they can do my job, check out this guy.
When I was a little boy and told people I was going to be a comedian, everyone laughed at me. Well, no one's laughing now.
You can say that again, pal.
Katie Spencer, Bethany Gale from Backstage Podcaster here. Look, this is, that in some respect, it's probably the safest clip we could show. Yes. This is going to be really dark, isn't it?
Really is.
Dark, it's disturbing.
Yeah. It's not your typical superhero comic book film. It's actually hard to believe that it's released today. There's been so much kind of buzz, chat, controversy around it. Obviously, in America, some chains that are showing it, some of the cinema chains, they've upped their security around the screenings. Other ones have said no cosplay, you know, costumes or any kind of weapons or masks can be brought along. And that's mainly to do with the Aurora shooting back in 2012, which happened after a Dark Knight Rises shooting. I mean, how linked that actually was to Batman and the Joker is questionable, but that really is kind of what's provoked a lot of those thoughts. But I mean, something everyone's unanimous in, pretty much with the critics, is that Joaquin Phoenix, his performance is standout.
Incredible. Yeah, the real standout. But you've got some real sort of powerhouse actors in this, haven't you? We saw a clip there from Robert De Niro with Joaquin Phoenix. Robert De Niro plays a talk show host. There's some great gossip that's come out from the filming of this as well, because obviously Robert De Niro, very old school approach to acting. He wanted lots of rehearsals, he wanted table reads. Joaquin Phoenix wanted to just be on set, to live in the moment, to do it very method, and he tried to get out of doing any sort of table read. Who do you think won in that fight?
De Niro.
De Niro.
Of course he
and
did.
there's very good anecdotes about how he was forced to do the table read and then stropped off to have a cigarette, and Robert De Niro went out there and pinched his cheeks and said, "Oh, come on."
It's interesting, though, isn't it, with Joker as a character, because he is such... And we saw from...
Heath Ledger.
From Heath Ledger,
yes,
which was...
of course, won a posthumous Oscar for the role.
Well, I mean, that was an absolutely phenomenal performance.
Hard to beat.
But this is, such an anti-hero. He's such a nasty character.
Exactly.
And yet there is this fascination with him as a viewer.
Well, the director, Todd Phillips, he's been at pains to say this film is a character study and really a study of mental illness rather than an action-adventure. So, I mean, if you're going along expecting your kind of big comic blockbuster...
Explosions.
It's different.
Not that.
Yeah.
And he went to great lengths as well, lost a load of weight for this.
If you're wondering why he looks unhinged and genuinely mad, it's
hungry. He's starving.
He was only eating an apple a day because the director said he wanted him to look thin and really sort of slightly deranged, and he was jogging 15 miles from
the Joker diet. You could lose 4 stone, apparently.
Jogging 15 miles on an apple a day.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see that. I cannot wait. Now, I Love You, Now Die.
Yeah, that's another dark one.
This is dark. This is hugely disturbing, isn't it?
Yeah, this is based on the 2014 a real-life case of a young boy, Comrade Roy. He is found dead in his car, taken his own life. Police look into it and think it's simply a case of a young teenager who was depressed taking his life. But then they look into his mobile phone and they found thousands of texts between him and his girlfriend, Michelle Carter, which seemed to show her persuading him to take his life. And this is a 2-part documentary on... It's a new Sky channel, isn't it? Sky Crime?
Sky Crime, yeah. It's interesting because it's 2 parts and it's split down the middle in a very interesting way. The first part, you come across and listen to the case of Michelle Carter and think, God, this is just absolutely horrific. So you're hearing the prosecution case. The second half, it's the defence, and one of the first voices that you hear from is the doctor that was giving evidence in the case, and there's an element of this sort of Romeo and Juliet pact that they had, and he said rather than it being star-crossed lovers, it's more like drug-crossed lovers, because they were both on very heavy antidepressants that was making both of them suicidal. They'd both had various attempts in the past to try and kill themselves, and it's weighing up really both of these parts, and you come to your own conclusions.
And there's also quite an interesting theme of how women are treated in criminal cases.
And shown in the media as well.
Yeah, because it can be quite different to the way that men are sometimes treated in the same situation. But it is dark, but it's compelling
lots
viewing. Yeah, that's 2 parts.
Sounds very interesting.
Out on Sunday.
Thank you so much for taking us through this week's outings. Should we see what's happening with the weather now?
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.